In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Obi Trice, real name, no gimmicks.
Okay.
Let's go.
And yeah, so maybe we can start with your journey. Basically, why you started cooking, when.
So basically, I started when, I mean, since like I was this size. My parents always had these kind of businesses running in Lisbon. So I started very young next to my dad in the counter, taking coffees, sodas, that kind of stuff. And then like at 14, like 13, 14, I started to be next to my mom in the kitchen, like making desserts, that kind of stuff. And then I was, after that, I went to the culinary school. And it was the start of my path.
So you always knew you wanted to cook, like from the beginning?
So before my dream, it was between being a cook and working as a designer. But yeah, so I had my family working in the hospitality business, so I always thought that the food business was the right side.
So design or cooking, so for you cooking is also about creativity, right?
Yeah.
Lots of discipline as well and creativity, or mostly creativity?
No, I think for I always was like a super methodic cook and not so creative. And I think to be creative, you need to be methodic first. First, you need to be able to make all the prep and organization super well, and then you will have time for creativity. Yeah.
You talk a lot about like the traditional food, right? And it's the whole concept of your cooking style. Yeah, so you base your cooking style on this traditionality. When did you feel that you can make that bend to the traditional and to get that novelty aspect as well to it? Or was it from the very beginning?
I don't know. It was actually here at Eurico we started to do like the dishes like in a super traditional way. And then with time, with a more creative vibe that we build here, we just want to make like funny stuff. We want to grab Portuguese food and give like a hint of like it has to be funny. We have to enjoy, and because normally like Portuguese food sometimes it can be a bit boring for the people that doesn't know and doesn't have like the traditional feeling of nostalgia, and we have to do it like properly and cooler.
So this is traditional 2.0, basically. That's what you're referring to, this kind of traditional recipes with a twist. And where is this twist? In textures, in service?
Yeah, I think in definitely in textures, new flavors, balance. For Portuguese food, it's super intense, and I love it. But we have a menu with dishes to share, and I really like that people have the choice of choosing a lot of dishes to share and to try a lot of stuff. So we need to find the balance between dishes, and that's the challenge, the bigger challenge for on making Portuguese food.
Did you ever exclude any dishes from the menu because they were like too complicated? We didn't like them for this or that reason?
Yeah, definitely. We serve a lot of people here, and sometimes we want to do like super creative stuff that takes a lot of time in the prep, a lot of time in the service, and we like here we have to do it simple but really good. So it's I don't know. It's a way it's our way to work here.
Sounds good. So you would talk about this concept of Eurico. This is about traditional food with a twist, like with this innovation aspect, right? It feels like very casual, like intentionally imperfect, Is it something that comes organical with you, or is it something that you actually like created by hand?
Are you talking about the space?
The space,
the
maybe,
vibe?
the service, this whole vibe. It's very, it's intentionally careless, informal. And then is it like something?
No, I don't think so. I think it's part of the it's half of me. I'm super perfectionist people person, and I have these two sides. I'm super chaotic, but I'm super organized as well. So here I want to be like the people. So this is a place that lives on the energy, I guess, of the people that work here with me. So sometimes it's more organized, sometimes it's more this chaotic.
But it's curated chaos, right? So you're in control.
Yeah. I mean, it's super chaotic here. It's intentional. It's the intention. But inside, I mean, we take everything. The approach on the gastronomy choice. It's super like careful. We take a lot of time thinking about our dishes, the construction of the menu, and then here we can have fun.
The construction of the menu, what's important? Contrast or harmony? So what's
So as I said, the Portuguese food, it's super heavy, super strong in flavors, and we try in our menu to have like a balance between cold dishes, hot dishes, snacks. Desserts is the most hard part because I'm really a sweet guy, sweet tooth, and a lot of Portuguese desserts are made like basically 99% are made with egg yolks and sugar, and it's really hard for me to find that balance.
So what are the desserts on the menu right now?
We always try to have like a dessert, a more fresh dessert, like an ice cream or a simple piece of like good fruit, just to clean the palate after the meal.
You're,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. You honor the seasonality. It's important for you, like the seasonality, the seasonal products. It's all that you try to stick to.
Yes, of course. We try to change the menu like in 3 months, like seasonally. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. What is louder, kitchen or the room?
Kitchen or?
Or the room, the people, because there's always a waiting line, right? There's always a buzz in the yard. I don't know
Yeah.
what's the recipe about this buzz that you managed to create, but there's always a waiting line, and like you cannot get a booking online like in a couple of months,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So that's
yeah. No, I think it's louder outside. In the kitchen, we are super focused, and outside, I don't know, it's part of us as well. We always try to, as I said, we always try to be a bit chaotic outside and more organized inside, because I want the people to live the feeling of Eurico.
For you, it's important to serve people on a waiting line. So, I mean, I was like 3 or maybe 4 times, and you still can wait and actually get a place. So,
Yeah.
for some reason, for you, it's important that people actually get serviced, right? So,
Yes, of course. Yeah. Because we have. I mean, you can book for. We are fully booked till like for the next 3 months normally, 2-3 months, and but we always say that it's possible to have a place as walk-in, and of course I love. I usually I don't book with a lot of advance, and I like to decide. Like a day before, and I love to wait for a table, and if I can drink or eat a snack, I will be very happy to wait.
what time does Lisbon start to eat?
Normally at 12. Yeah.
So it's lunch time, and then later into the.
Yeah. During the week, normally it's 12, and on the weekends we like to lunch like later, like 2 o'clock.
Got it. What's the biggest misunderstanding tourists bring to Portuguese food, in your opinion?
Can you repeat?
Yeah. What's the biggest misunderstanding you think tourists have and bring to Portuguese food?
I think definitely dishes made with the insides of the animal, like livers, hearts, lungs, kidneys. It's hard. I mean, it's super nostalgic for us, and it's super like strong in flavor. So sometimes it's hard to try to sell to the tourists and to explain where the dish comes from. and that's a challenge for us as well. We always try to make these not noble parts of the animal to shine, and normally we can do it, and we love it.
I love all,
Yeah.
all those you mentioned. I think it's like the taste test part, the taste test part. But okay, got it. Interesting. So, you were mentioning somewhere, like in the previous interviews, right? So that for you, it's important to earn the trust, and once people like kind of trust you, I'm not sure if I pronounced it correctly in Portuguese, like bem feito.
See?
Yeah. So and then comes invention. So is it the case? So for you, it's important to earn that credibility over novelty or anything else.
Yeah, of course. As I said on the beginning, we did like the traditional way, like super bem feitos, well done. And right now, after 7 years almost, people trust on us to make these kind of twists on the menu. Because that's it. We did it traditional for 2-3 years, and now we can do it, and people trust us.
Are those mostly locals or tourists that?
Right now we have like 60-50% tourists, and the rest of it locals. I'm super happy about it.
You mentioned that for you it's important to do, like, it's always possible to do something better. There's like always strive for that perfection.
Yeah.
So what does better mean actually for you? What is this perfection you are chasing, striving for?
I don't know. You always have things to learn, techniques. You always have new products. I don't know. So we are super young. We still have a lot of years to learn how to cook, to learn new techniques, to learn how to talk with people, to learn more about hospitality. And yeah, we can always do better. We are doing a super cool job right now. I think tomorrow we will do it so much better because we will have more experience doing it.
Where did you learn from usually? Other places?
I don't know, other
traveling?
places, other chefs, with my team. I'm not building this alone. I have an amazing team next to me that teach me everything, that teach me new stuffs every day, and we share this mentality.
What's important to have to be on your team?
To be an Eurico, you need to have like a sangue na guerra. You need to feel this kind of environment.
Any ingredient that you are still kind of getting a hold of, something that is still, it doesn't, how to say it in English, I'm thinking my language too. Basically, the ingredient that you still try to understand and you're experimenting again and again with it.
I would say kidneys. Yeah, it's I think a lot of Portuguese people love kidneys, and it's an ingredient that I'm trying to manage to have on the menu, but it's super challenging.
Because of what, like the way you cook it?
Because the texture, the strong flavor as well. We always try to make it more delicate, and right now it's my current challenge.
Got it. An ingredient you think you're overusing, if there is any. If not, then-
I don't know, maybe onions and garlic and olive oil. We use it for everything. Sometimes you have to try not to use it to make new stuff. Otherwise, the flavor it's always the same.
True. Creativity is spontaneous for you. So where does it come from? Out of mistakes, out of your experiments?
It's not spontaneous, I guess. I think you need to train a lot of your creativity. I read a lot. I search a lot on the internet. I eat a lot outside. But yeah, like I think it's spontaneous as well. But you have to train your creativity.
As you said, like first methodology,
Yeah,
kind
that-
of, you
that's
have
it.
to have the
Yeah,
fundamentals,
yeah.
and then okay. Talking about Lisbon, there is lots of attention to Lisbon right now. I mean, from gastronomy, if we talk about gastronomy, do you feel there is any kind of tension or competition in between the chefs and places, or you feel it's more of a community that you guys creating right now here?
I think it's more like a community. I guess I never felt this competition. I don't know, because we are a restaurant that we are an unique restaurant in Lisbon, I guess. So we don't feel the competition. We feel a lot of love. We feel a lot of respect from other chefs and professionals. And I mean, I think we have a really good community, gastronomy community.
And what do you think Lisbon diner crave for right now? Like, what do you think Lisbon still lacks, let's say, on gastronomy aspect?
I would say democratic fine dining spots.
But you still differentiate between fine dining and casual dining, right? So there is still a line in between them.
Yeah, yeah.
But you think more and more attention and demand is for this casual dining?
Like casual dining, fun dining, I guess. Yeah, I think you have a lot of good fine dining restaurants, and I mean you have in general you have a lot of really good restaurants. So people, locals now know how to eat, where to eat good food, and I think the lack here. It's that kind of spot, like so creative, cool, but like Michelin level spots.
And again, it's all about the techniques, right? So all the precision that you put into cooking, and then the interior and the vibe, it could be very different, right? So it's again, it's about the products and the techniques that you apply. That's pretty much what makes the differentiation in between this high level, the bar.
Yeah, yeah, and then you have to create a vibe as well.
And
Yeah,
the
you need to have soul in your place.
When you start preparing a dish, like what matters most? Let's say you start with a product, you start with an emotion, you start like with like nostalgia. Let's say whenever you had something in the childhood and you want to repeat it, like replicate something like that, or the texture you are trying to seek. Like what's the first thing?
The first thing is definitely It has to be in one of the Portuguese books we love, and then so sometimes we follow the traditional dish, and then we think about the product, texture, all of that. Sometimes it's always like nostalgic stuff that I remember eating during my childhood, and sometimes it's not even traditional Portuguese food, but it's something that I grew up eating. So that's the first approach is on that, and then product, texture, service, and we follow. Are you
seeking for all those like recipes? I mean, throughout the Portugal, is it like something you're trying to dig out all those like traditional recipes, or, I mean, like actually like traveling into all those like small places and digging them out all those like recipes? Or how does it work?
Yeah. So actually, right now, my main goal is to grab like really old Portuguese recipes, like things you eat it in Lisbon, like in the 60s, or we are planning actually a couple of dishes from that time in Lisbon, like boiled small fish with vinaigrette and that kind of like a cod salad, like a raw cod salad. We had it on the menu last year.
And where do they live, all those old recipes? And families, let's say, in all like small restaurants that are not like, let's say, on Google Maps?
Normally in books and in stories. For example, this dish made with small boiled fishes with vinaigrette. This is a story that one of my uncles that work in Lisbon like 60 years ago. He told me that he had this like almost every day because it was so cheap, and I don't think people remember that kind of dish, and we want to do it.
Your cooking style and Ulrika itself as a place,
Yeah.
as a separate living organism, is it fused? I mean, if let's say if you leave and a different chef comes in, take over the place, is it gonna be the same place, or your style is migrating with you, let's say, and then the place, whenever the new chef comes in, takes like this new mood, this new vibe, this new style?
I don't think so. I think Eurico builds as I build as a person. So Eurico will be the restaurant I want it to be. Probably it will be. I will be a different person next year. Eurico will be a different restaurant next year. That's how we operate.
So you're evolving, and your cooking
Yeah.
style is evolving, and
Yeah.
so the place. Okay. In terms of your like next steps or the dreams, you also mentioned that you would want maybe in some time get into this fine dining and try like running a fine dining place. Like why would you want? I mean, what let's say what would you gain from a different place, like a fine dining place, something that you're not getting here, let's say, or cannot get here?
So I think I will be able to be more creative than here. Because here, I mean, it's really hard. We serve, not hard, I'm super happy about it, but we serve like 200 people per day, and we have a small kitchen, a small production kitchen as well, so we can do the things, like super creative things, and I think I in the future I will want to have like a smaller place, and I can be happy here, and I can be happy in a different kind of place, more creative, with a vibe as well, but a bit different than this one probably.
I've created a monster, 'cause nobody wants to see Marshall no more. They want shady, I'm chopped liver. Well, if you want shady, this is what I'll give you. A little bit of me mixed with some hard liquor, some vodka that'll jumpstart my heart quicker than a shot when I get shocked at